everybody, welcome back to Winston Cup Racing at FSB Racing. Live on Friday night. Sorry for the delay. YouTube changed the creator studio and the stream key it gave me did not work, and I had to dig up the old style studio, find it, put the stream key back in, and we're live. So we're already underway here at Homestead. You see your qualifying grid up there now. Dennis Chambers is your pole setter in the 10 car. Slim Jim Gately returns. The 3 of Mark DeSenza rounds out your top 3. Steve Weber, Rick Johnson, Matt Watkins also putting in good qualifying runs there. Rick Bisconner, Dan Irvine, Bill Yarbrough, and Jeff Hale rounding out your top 10. And I've been explicitly instructed by Jeff Hale not to pick him tonight, so I'm not going to do that. Milty is not along yet. He knows the password to get in while the race is running. He rejoins us later. So, yeah, after last week's fiasco with the server, we had to cancel that race. So this is effectively round 1 of the Winston Cup Series this season. And we are at Homestead Flat, the original, or actually the second layout of this track, the way it existed in 2003, not in the 90s when it was built. And you'll see, because of the technical difficulties we had last week, we were back in 1988 cars. No 1998 mod, while we figure out just what went wrong last week. And, don't know what happened with the first caution. I was too busy trying to fix YouTube. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely give them a piece of my mind about that Creator Studio beta. It's a piece of trash. But for now, Dennis Chambers, your pole setter, still has the lead after that initial caution. Not sure who was involved in it there. Got Dan Jones joining me in the booth here. How you doing, Dano?
Excellent. Can you hear me? My mic was having problems again.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you.
That was Rick Castle got spun by, I think it was Bob.
Oh, we're not gonna point.
But
make calls like that, but yeah, there was contact with the 43 and the 124. Okay,
that's what I meant to say, and I think the traffic slowed up, so that's what happened.
See the 10 car, Dennis Chambers pitting from the lead, probably a strategy play here. About what kind of fuel range you think you're going to get tonight?
Looks about 30 laps. I think yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'd give up that position.
I don't either. I wouldn't want to give up track position on a flat track like this. But Dennis Chambers is an excellent racer and usually knows what he's doing.
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit hot and heavy up there for those guys. You know what it's like?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the camera 2 laptop is now having issues. It's dropped to single-digit FPS, so I'm going to have to fix that problem. This has been an eventful beginning.
Sounds like your hands full.
Oh, man. I don't know if you heard my ranting about YouTube there, but yeah, I was having trouble even going live. Like, wow. I was getting a green light on Open Broadcaster, but I have no idea where that was going because nothing was showing up on the channel.
Yep. Changes. Don't you love it? The big boys.
Oh yeah, YouTube's been threatening this studio beta for months now, and I've been using the classic, but it finally forced me to switch.
It's funny, I stay away from downloading anything new for a long time, and it always glitches.
Yeah. It's kind of like how TeamSpeak always wants to update on race night, and I'm like, no. No, I do not. I'm not going to update you on a race night. And of course, the only time I load it up is on a race night, so it usually takes me months to update TeamSpeak when it's time.
Or is your sidekick Milt?
Milty's got some family around. I think they were either just arriving or just departing, so he's going to be joining late. If you can get in.
How'd you do last night there, Shawn?
Oh, yeah, they just let me out of the hospital from that one.
Yeah, I was gently coming out of the pits and I got nailed.
Yeah, I was in the pits when a caution came out and coming around catching the field at speed, and there was a white truck stopped up against the wall, and I did not see them. And they started turning because they didn't see me and came down right in front of me. I hit full speed when for a gymnast tumbled down the front stretch.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah, good luck, man. Alright, pace car is off, and Mark DeSenza will lead us back to green with his teammate Slim Jim Gately behind in the 23 machine. Rick Johnson there, third place with Steve Weber, Big Cactus, the 83, and P4, and Matt Watkins returning this season. That was a story we didn't get to cover much last week. Matt Watkins, who Milty calls the GOAT, greatest of all time. He holds every single FSB record. And he's back in action this season for select Friday nights, running that Super Mario car. I'll have our camera-in-camera, or picture-in-picture rather, set up back up soon. Just checking some stuff on the laptop as to why it got so slow. As far as this version of Homestead, I've never really gotten the hang of it. It is just not my track. Just takes forever to get back on the throttle here. It's big, it's flat. Very easy to knock the right side off. You got someone in the pits, right? Excuse me. Pops Margison in the 99 pitting for some reason. I wonder if he caught a penalty on the start. Well, that's going to put him behind at least a lap early on here. Sorry I haven't been checking in with you guys. Chat, thanks for joining us. As Martin Guerrero, hopefully I didn't murder that too badly. Barrett McKay, Yoshi Link. You should definitely be all about that Nintendo car then. As you see, this is why I don't really particularly like this track myself. You see, they're all very much single file. Not a lot of movement except to see back the 10 car and those fresh tires. Looking to make a move on the 29, gives up on it going into 1. This track races a lot like New Hampshire, which is, another track I'm not a huge fan of. It's basically New Hampshire with palm trees in the backstretch. But there's definitely some flat track specialists out there tonight. You got Slim Jim Gately, and Mark DeSenza, he's fast everywhere. And Matt Watkins is just a machine. I'd say my pick for tonight going in was that 10 car, though. And I'm not sure how that strategy is going to play out for him, so I guess we'll see. And just as I say, not a lot of passing, we got some movement there. I believe that's the 95 McQueen machine. Oh, my bad, that was 54 Bill Yarbrough looking underneath the 27 of Dan Irvine. Alright, looks like the laptop's back in action here. Alright, and you see Dan Jones looking underneath the 124 there, takes the spot. Gets to work on the 101 of Jeff Habbock. The Mario Kart is cool, but it's all about Team Filmer, says Yoshi Link. Let's go find young filmer. Ooh, 59 Ryan Johnson getting down on the flat there. Gets all out of sorts. And still making a move on the 29. You just find some extra grip down there? That is a power move by the 59 Buffalo Wild Wings machine. I believe that's an early 80s Buick he's running tonight. Meanwhile, up front it remains unchanged, with Mark DeRocket DeSenza in the 3 machine leading his teammate Slim Jim Gately. And Ryan Johnson moving forward more, looking underneath the aforementioned filmer, the 95 McQueen machine. 10-car Dennis Chambers already tearing through the field. Will follow Ryan right on through there. See, Ryan Johnson just continues to stick wheels down below the line in the apron there. Just finding a little bit of extra grip there, maybe helping the turn. The exit there, a little turn off, helped from hitting the apron. Oh, am I losing FPS on the laptop again? As noted from our in-race reporter Dan Jones, we're going to be looking at about 33 laps on fuel. I guess on a mile and a half, it's usually about, 34. I think the real question would be keeping tires under it for that long on a flat track like this. I see the 59 and the 10 have worked their way around Dan Irvine in the 27. Let's go through the back of the field here. You got Keith Cordier in the 25. Bring up the rear in that Folgers coffee car. John the Dog Palmer in that AMC, number 108. Bob Dixon, early contact, has him back in the field in the 43 STP car. Got a default. Who is that? Brad Otto in the 31. I guess I just didn't get his car tonight. Of course, we mentioned Jeff Habak in the 101. Pops Marguson, where's he running? Listed 22nd. Not sure how many laps down. Only one lap down after that, I think, unscheduled pit stop. So he is sitting in the lucky dog position currently. As you see, all those cars fanning out in front of him. Big old gaggle of traffic in front. As he got the 58 of John Doucette. 109 of Rick Bisconner. 007 Dan Jones looking to Looks like the Rick Castle got back around him, and they're both trying to get around the 09 of Brian Lamb. And they'll make the pass on the back here. And the Camera 2 laptop is still having trouble, so I'm going to have to reboot that to fix it. Jeff Hale falling all the way back to 11th place. I think I know the real reason he didn't want me to pick him. I guess he just doesn't really have a handle on this track, or doesn't feel like he does. I don't know, a pro like Hale will figure it out as the night goes on, though. Never count that 29 car out. And again, McQueen rounds out your top 10 as I see Milt Minter's helicopter has landed, and he's in the FSB Racing trailer getting ready. Dan Irvine's 27 car, currently running 9th, trying to hold off that charging McQueen machine. Yeah, that is in fact a Buick. A whole lot of chrome on it for the Buffalo Wild Wings ride of Ryan Johnson. He continues to catch that apron lap after lap, and it's been serving him well so far. Let's ride on board with Ryan for a bit here as he does that. You see just how far down there he's getting, and he's the only one doing that tonight. At least as far as I can see. And Milt Minter is in the booth.
What's up, race fans?
Glad to have you back, Milty. I'm starting to lose my voice.
Well, you know me. I got plenty of that.
Oh, man, I've had nothing but trouble tonight. At first, the broadcast got off late because YouTube went and changed the Creator Studio, and it wasn't working. I had to dig up the Classic and get it going. So I missed the start and the initial caution. My laptop's acting up. And meanwhile, Ryan Johnson, slide job outside in front of the 54 car, Billy Yarbrough, and takes the spot. Moving Ryan Johnson up to 7th spot for now.
So, me using the boss password, all I gotta do is launch race. It's not gonna affect anything. It's not gonna...
Nope, nothing at all.
Okay.
Just be sure not to click any of those session arrows. Basically, get in and put the replay, the camera full screen as soon as possible, so you can't click on anything. Looks like Keith Cordier has fallen a lap down, putting him in the lucky dog spot, and moving Pops Margison back to 2nd car lap down. Matt Watkins patiently still riding there behind his teammate. Steve Weber in the 83.
Matt, back in the Classic 35, where he's won most of his victories with that number.
Yep. Yeah, 15 was taken this time around by Adam Roberts, so had to dig out the 35.
Instantly, I think about actually beating him one time here on fuel, and
I was thinking about all
the rest.
I remember you saying you got that win here against him, and that's always big. Anything you can win with Matt Watkins in the field is huge. And of course, this was the last track, I believe, that your father Did he just test here, or did he actually race
And I
competitively
ran
here?
at the time it was called Grand Am, but it was basically IMSA race. A really great deal with Kevin Jeanette and Gunnar Jeanette and Chad McQueen. Obviously, you probably know his
Right.
dad, Steve McQueen.
I think I've heard of him before. Did a couple movies, right? We've got some action on pit road. We've got the 101 of Jeff Habak and his teammate Brad Otto in the 31 coming in here at lap 30, right about where Dan was saying the fuel window was, but I expected them to go a little further with those caution laps thrown in.
Yeah, I mean, what do you need? Like, you need 33 or 34 to make it with no cautions, but now that's all changed.
Yeah, they took the green at with about 100 to go, so if they can stretch them to 34 laps, they can go the distance, nice and evenly, without having to do a splash stop later.
Well, it looks like they're shifting in 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, looking at the 35.
Yeah, don't take much stock in that, because sometimes it
Jeff
just guesses.
Abbott misses pit road exit off into the grass, and Matt Watkins barely gets by.
Ooh, that's a brown pants moment.
No harm, no foul, and he's back down pit road.
Yeah, that's going to be
some kind of penalty.
That's going to be an unsafe exit right there for Tower 101 there, and you see the right side of his car is already banged up too.
And this old school Homestead flat. You know, obviously when my dad ran it, he ran the road course too, so.
Yeah, Jim Ray checking in, our FSB founder here.
Hey, me. Yeah, I've been texting, and my aunt came by out of nowhere from Washington, and so I had to hang out, you know. God bless her. It was a wonderful visit, but now I'm here.
Got a big stack up there with the 007, 124, and 99. Everybody gathers back up, no harm, no foul. Again, Pops Margison finds himself the second car a lap down.
Well, you're not seeing these guys pit. Now they're going to want to pit at 33 or 34, and let's watch Steve Weber and Matt Watkins. And they're not pitting this time, so that's the fuel window you want to hit. Wow, the FSB helicopter is really getting it today. Pilot, we threw him a couple hundred there. Come on, dude. Keep up with this stuff. Rick Johnson in third there. Mama, there goes that man. Who do you say is the greatest in FSB? Well, I got a few wins, you know, but I'm definitely not the greatest. You'd have to say with overall wins, and these two guys, Rick Johnson and Matt Watkins, have got to be in that discussion for sure.
And meanwhile, Dan Jones in the 007 hits pit road.
Oh
man, I rebooted the laptop and
hey, there's a Miltism though. It's Miltism.
There you go. I got the Milty counter working tonight.
Dan hard into the woo. Okay, I'm a little behind. I'm looking at two screens here, but
Dan Irvine hits pit road in the 27 car.
Jim Gately, the professor, Slim Jim Gately. Step yourself into a Slim Jim.
Miltisms are coming fast and furious as Matt Watkins and teammate Steve Weber hit pit road together. That's going to hand the lead. Oh, Watkins smokes it coming in. He might have been pushing it.
I don't know.
He almost ate some wall there, though. That was close.
He is a thrill seeker, like the old days, you know, us old guys, you know, back before cable. That one of them shows on Saturday was Chuck Connors and the Thrill Seekers. And they'd have crazy people doing crazy things. And that's Matt Watkins when it comes to pit stops. He will wow, look at that. That's vintage Matt Watkins right there. If he didn't get a, BF.
Pretty
Gately's
sure he
still out
didn't.
there, and that's how he do. Well, you know
Alright,
when you.
technical problem
sorry.
number 16 for the night. I switched the laptop over to Wi-Fi, and I was able to get it to connect again.
Well, we had a vacation, I mean, cut us some slack there. Guys, this is typical Homestead. Got a lot of good drivers trying to stay in the lead lap or already down. It's a short track and fast track, and if you don't get your rhythm and you get lousy track position instantly, you go backwards, and you need another caution here.
Yeah, well, also...
Like Bob Dixon there in the 43.
Yeah, Slim Jim Gately hits pit road from the lead, which will cycle it over to Dennis Chambers. Now, Dennis Chambers pitted from the lead on the first caution, so he's got about 5 more laps of fuel on everybody.
Oh, Johnny Doucette, the 58, was taking a look at Pops there and denied. He lost some momentum there in P3, but definitely was a smart move there to not make that move. And now he's down pit road in that Pennzoil car that I see. Of course, I don't have all the paints, so.
You see Slim Jim's down and away. The only default I have tonight is the 31 of Brad Otto. I'm not sure what happened with his paint, because he had one last season. I'll have to see if there's something hidden in the car file manager. And you see the difference tires are making. Big Cactus Steve Weber just pitted. Oh, we got a caution.
That is Dan Irvine coming out of pit road. Lost it. There's Miller all over the wall there. Somebody lick that off there real quick.
That's Milt. He can't stand to see good beer wasted, even if it's not his brand.
No, man. Okay, now I'm looking at the chat here. Trying to get my bearings here, and
oh, I see.
I see all these people watching. Hey, what's up, Jimmy, Barrett, Sammy? Thanks for showing up.
And we'll go here to the replay. And you see Dan Irvine following Dan Jones. Gets loose coming into one, and around she goes. Left side slap to the wall. That might not hurt him too badly tonight. If the crew can hammer that out. Man, if you have to pancake the wall, you want it to be on the left side, not the right.
Well, these guys
you don't want the car any tighter.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys now that pitted later have better tires. Just a few laps. What are you going to do? You're going to pit again? You lose track position. We got funky chicken going on here. Let's see how this works out.
I would pit now because at lap 40 of 107, this is a one-stop race to the finish. I'm surprised more cars aren't coming in. Right? Yeah. If it's
okay.
Yeah, if it's going to be about 60. Or we're going to take
you can make 60 laps in this car. No kidding.
30 some odd laps. 30 laps a run.
Oh,
so,
one stop. Okay,
yeah, one stop.
Yeah. I've had a few beers.
And yeah, as you noted before, half the field is caught a lap down by the caution coming out during that cycle, as Dennis Chambers had not pitted before the caution came out. You hear him clutching. He knows he can do this on one stop from here. Jim Ray out on the bike rehabbing the knee. Yep, I'm gonna be.
Dude, Jim Ray is a beast, but we know that because he ran this league for a long time and created a great thing here. But sim racing has been his motivation to. He's like, yeah, I can walk, but my leg hurts on the when I push the brakes. I mean,
Yeah, so he's got to be loving tonight. We're running the oldest non PWF mod out there in the pits, Aero 88, and a stock track. So this is right up Jim's alley.
well, I do have to bring up a memory, another one, and it's about our beloved Texas Nation who passed away. He struggled with health problems for his whole life, basically, and found us at FSB, and he was a great talent and a great young man. And unfortunately, he didn't get to live a life like, some of us are lucky enough to get old. And but I remember a race here, man, and I think it was Damien Godstilla and Texas Nation and me, and he made the whole shot in between me and Damien on the next to last lap and bumped both of us and took the lead and won the race. And he was so excited. And at the same time, he was apologizing to me. I'm sorry, Milt. And I was like, dude, that's the greatest. That was a Dale Earnhardt move right there, dude. You didn't wreck me, but you won the race. And, rest in peace, Texas Nation. Definitely. That's just one memory I have here at the long tenure of FSB. So there you have it.
Yeah. I did not have the pleasure of knowing him. I believe he passed
That's
just before I joined. But everything I've heard, he was a great guy and a great racer.
Haven't talked about that other mama. There goes that man, and that's Mark DeCinza. Where he rolling at here? Everything's kind of combobulated here. You got cars tail end lead lap, looks like. Got Dennis Chambers. We see nothing but strong runs from him last year, and here he has definitely got the right stuff to deal with these FSB veterans here. But it looks like a ton of tail end lead lap cars in front of him, or am I missing it here?
There's got to be, a lot of people would stay out having just pitted and gotten trapped a lap down.
This is great stuff.
This field's going to be a mess.
You want to see a mess. You want to see it difficult.
So the leader is credited still as Dennis Chambers, so he must have had just about everybody a lap down.
Bill Yarborough and Ryan Johnson on the start there. And they want to definitely stay on that lead lap, and they have good cars to do it.
Will Farmer, Ryan Johnson, trying to pull out in front of this pack here.
Joe's in the mix there. Bisconner was kind of lost in space a little bit there, so this is a huge opportunity for him to stay on their lead lap. They need a caution, or they need a caution. That's what they need.
It's right on board with Dennis Chambers as he tries to work his way back up through this field. This lap traffic in front of him. He is still your leader, so he maintained the lead while pitting under caution. All these cars in front are tail end, choosing to stay out. Which is exactly what I would have done too in their spot.
This ain't what you see on TV now. This is the old school track. Very flat.
This is the second.
You gotta use brakes here, and you gotta kind of ride the brake and keep your foot right on the brake here, especially when you're following cars here. They know you're the leader, but they want to stay on that lead lap.
Yeah, I was saying in the lead-in, after I finally got YouTube to behave, that this is the second variant of Homestead, as the track has existed through its life. modern day is the third generation where they've put the progressive banking in. When this track was built, it was kind of square, like Indy, as you see 95 working underneath the 007 there, picking up the spot. Looks like Dennis Chambers trying to follow him through. He's going to have the run into one, and Dan's going to have no choice but to let him go there. But, originally this was built flat and square and had very, very severe angles if you came off a corner spinning, and that's how we lost John Nemechuk, of course. And after that accident, they changed it to the true oval like this layout is.
Very much like, like New Hampshire, where...
yeah, this is like a stretched out New Hampshire. And in this configuration, whereas before it was kind of like a shrunk Indy.
Well, if your throttle sticks, back in the day, you had no chance. Now, they've definitely worked on that, make sure they can pull that throttle back with the top of their foot.
Yeah, you've got that lever to pull it back with the top of the foot. You got the kill switch on the wheel. Safer barriers, Hans devices, all the safety. That's
well,
been
Farmer,
implemented through the years.
Look at Bill Yarbrough in the real tree car.
Yeah, Will Farmer was saying he didn't really feel like he had a good grasp of this track tonight, but he's been acquitting himself rather well out there tonight. Of course, right now trying to fight to stay on the tail end of the lead lap and not have to rely on that lucky dog, and he is breathing down that 54 car's neck.
Well, he's young but humble and respectful, but he's got skills, and there's nothing better than race time practice and following these pros here and seeing what they do and reacting to it, and he makes a nice pass there.
And meanwhile, Lieutenant Dennis Chambers, your leader, will get around Bill Yarbrough, putting him fully a lap down. He's going to be patient. He sees that the 95 has got it under control, and he's just going to use him to pick his way through the traffic.
Chambers there. But Bill the pro knows he can't make that stick, so he backs off.
Yeah, Dennis Chambers pulling out to almost a second lead over Slim Jim Gately while following through lap traffic, so he's definitely got a feel for this joint. I believe New Hampshire is his home track, so this probably feels quite familiar. Ryan Johnson continues to lead this tail end pack up front. We'll see is he still catching the apron. Early in the race, he was driving all the way down, 2 wheels fully below the line to, I guess, help turn the car off the corner.
Well, I like the low line later in the run, but earlier in the run, prefer to stay about 4 feet off and then eclipse it on the exit of the corner.
Yeah, you saw there, he got all the way down there, completely changed the camber of the car, and I believe 95 just caught a piece of wall. That's going to finally give the 10 the window under him. 95 just moves up and lets him go.
Yeah, he's rocking it right now. 10 car is strong and showing it. Get some.
Meanwhile, Matt Watkins on the move here. You see on the right side.
Matt Watkins already downshifting, at least what I see, or doesn't look like the 10 is downshifting.
I was starting to say before, don't trust that completely. Sometimes when you're watching somebody else's car, your game guesses that they're shifting just because of what speed they get down to.
Yeah, true. But I'm looking at the replay, and the gear shift is moving on the 35.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily always true. I'd be surprised if they were shifting around here.
Yeah, depending on the setup, definitely.
I really don't like to shift on ovals.
I would not be surprised of anything the 35 does.
True. At the banked version of this track, we saw him he came into the pits completely out of fuel, got spun around, had his teammates push him into the pit stall, lost laps, gained them back with no lucky dog at the time, and won the race. I mean, how do you compete with that?
Absolutely. So we got guys fighting for the lucky dog, and then we got DeCinza lost a few spots there, and so did Rick Johnson. Lost a ton of track position, but still in sixth place. And he's got a gaggle of cars around him in varying lap situations here. That's what happens when you get back farther. You lose touch of those leaders, and then passing opportunities are not as easy. Oh, we got a car down low going slow. That's Francis Dittman. What's wrong with the 000 there?
I don't know. We haven't talked about him tonight.
Really slow.
That looks like a blown engine to me. He's barely moving.
I think he done blowed up.
Blew up or lost a gear. Maybe he was shifting and he lost himself fourth gear.
The engine is still running as the 8500 FSB 8500 winner Francis Dittman down pit road. It's not going to be good for him.
Definitely not the night he was looking for in that Dairy Queen fire chicken.
Here comes that man, Mama. And that's Slim Jim Gately. And he has come, and he's been dialed in all night from what I've seen. And the professor is honing in on the 10 car.
You know, we haven't talked about Rick Johnson tonight. He's always a strong contender anywhere you go. He's hanging out in 6th place currently, working on the 83 of Steve Weber.
Yeah, Jim Ray talking about some of our older broadcasts, breaking into it compared to what you got going now is just, I mean, this is like, I show people on my big screen and they're like, where's Kyle Busch? No, man, this is sim racing, man. Really?
And Ryan Johnson finally surrenders that lead lap, or going to off the tail end of the lead lap, rather. He'll fall in line there and try and hang on to the lucky dog spot as long as he can.
Oh, boy, we got a gaggle here developing. Cars wanting to stay on the lead lap. And here comes DeCinza, too. Watkins, DeCinza. Farmer's trying to keep that lucky dog.
But yeah, as far as you
Francis
can't
Dittman back on the track.
You can't really fault the old broadcast because that was it was still a very new thing, a new medium back then. He probably didn't have as powerful systems, didn't have
absolutely
the
but
support,
it was just
the technical support out there.
It was the vision of thinking, man, wouldn't this be cool?
Absolutely.
And then trying to do it and struggling, but then having great moments, which at that time, if you saw blurry cars, heck, Jim started FSB on dial-up.
Yeah, the important thing is it's
cool.
It's there. You can go back to it,
They were just blinking out. That was the beginning of sim racing,
Yeah, I mean, I've built upon what Jim started there, what you and Greg did, what Mark Dillon. Yeah, he took it another step further, added some stuff, and it all just... you always stand on the ones that came before you, so definitely appreciate you guys getting the ball rolling on it.
Every now and then Jim finds that stuff and either send a clip on our phones or something of how cool And, it's like, wow, that happened, and it's still out there archived,
I'm not getting sound from the capture card after rebooting the laptop. Another technical thing. some of this stuff I'm kind of hobbling together with an old game and modern broadcasting software, and they don't always play nice.
What you do is fantastic, and I think that's the point that we're trying to make is how cool this is.
All right, we're going to lose camera 2 for just a second here. Hey, sound's back.
Ducks in a row here. Get some. Now you got a show here, folks. You got stud. Matt Watkins from retirement and working hard and doing life. So cool to see him back. This computer, 5-6-year-old computer, all covered in dust. I mean, I did everything I'm not supposed to do, which, but Matt Watkins built this thing for me in South Carolina and shipped it to me, and thing's still rocking the house. Not to mention our battles and friendship also through the years. Just great to see him back. Life takes us different places, and cool to see guys get back to what you love and what your real hobby is, and that's sim racing.
Looks like 007's hitting pit road, and he misses the access road, sliding up the track, almost collecting.
Slim Jim Gately.
Who was that? That was the 109 he almost got.
Oh no!
And meanwhile, Slim Jim takes the lead from Dennis Chambers. Yeah, I was watching on the right side of my screen
and here
there.
Comes Dennis Chambers back. I don't think so.
Crossover.
Dennis has done a great job saving his tires in the lead. That's the thing about this track, is leading a long time. No matter how hard you try, the guys behind save more tires, but he is not relenting here. But you've seen the veteran Slim Jim Gately slowly, just patiently move his way into the lead. Thing is, now he's in the lead, managing your pace, picking your number for pit stops. What you gonna do? This is looking at Mark, at Matt.
Matt's looking at Dennis. And Slim's looking to check out, if he can. He's like, you guys fight it out amongst each other. I'm fine with that.
Well, we see that Slim Jim Gately car get that air on the nose in the lead. When he's in the zone, he's in another dimension, and we're seeing that right now.
Ooh,
this is professional
Rick
sim racing. It's very hard.
52 Rick Johnson knocks the right side of his car off turn 2. That's not what he wanted while he was trying to catch up to this lead pack.
Well, he's seeing the urgency that he needs to make, but the problem is the draft with these cars, and tail end lap car is superior to him driving by himself here, and he had to get around lots of traffic.
Well, he's back there with the 27 car. Yeah, 27's pretty fast, just trapped a lap down. Yeah, that right side damage, that's a killer. C95, our own McQueen hitting pit road there, and Will Farmer brings it down to 45.
So these leaders pitted later, so they're going to do the same thing here. At the minimum, you're looking at 34, which means you need to be at 72. That's about 3 more laps as we see more chatter here.
Yeah, we're not going to make it to the finish for anyone pitting now. The best they can hope for is to maybe make up some track position on the leaders while they're on newer tires, and then hope to catch a caution time just right. But that's a real long shot.
Them Jim Gately, 8 car lengths. Are you kidding me? He's rocking this house.
Woo! The 59 and the 10. Oh, still a little bumping and banging there as they get around the lap car.
Well, you break these when you analyze these races after you've run them, they break down into runs and cautions and runs, and you look back and see, you know, how you did. A lot of times in my career, I can see, 2 runs running good, and then that last run, somebody just, at this level, they nail it. And you're seeing it right now with the 23. Is early.
3-car makes a power move under Matt Watkins at the start-finish line.
And you're talking about tire temperature here a lot.
I don't know if Matt just let him go, or if DeCenza just had the biggest run in the history of ever, but he just went by Watkins like he's standing still. Maybe Matt Watkins is dropping into an extreme saver mode, trying to make sure he can make this to the finish.
Well,
we're getting close to the window.
The greatest of all time, in my opinion, and that goes... you can debate this, but I still think it's that guy. And
well, statistically, it's hard to argue. I mean, he's got pretty much all the records.
He knows how to readjust his plan on the fly, which, as a sim racer, you have to be Roger Penske and Elio Castroneves at the same time. Nothing on the scanner here. We're right at the 34 lap. This is, you can barely make it to the end territory here, so you don't want that. You're up here in this top, even the 10 has dropped back. He's doing the same thing. Dennis Chambers is experienced, and as much as any of these guys, racing in other leagues, and
there's Matt Watkins hitting pit road.
Here it comes. We gotta watch this. This is make him or break him.
You guys see he gets a little wiggly there. Power slide into pit road.
Can you? Oh my gosh, that's.
Matt Watkins with the Fast and the Furious pit entry there.
Not mess around, dude. He has no fear. He's not going to. He's going to win or he's going to lose. That's it. Let's see what NASCAR has to say about that.
Let's see if he gets nailed for that entry. But he was just trying to not leave anything on the table.
Save right there, dude. I'm telling you.
That is some serious car control right there.
That's where people go to die right there.
He is down and away, and we will see. We will see if he manages to avoid a penalty.
Pitting. Dog 108's pitting.
Slim Jim's still out there.
What are these leaders going to do? How about that dog? Bark like a dog for me. Woo! Pit stops. We got Bob Dixon. Unique. And Matt Watkins did not go down pit road, so...
Well, he's got 3 laps to obey a black flag if you got one.
Well, we all know this is how it works. And that's what great thing about this old game. It's actually it's all about timing lines going through pit road. You can go 60 miles an hour into pit road,
Well,
but if you keep your foot on the brake and you get that sucker down to 45 before you hit that first timing line, or 42, so your average time is 45. And that's, you know, I mean, that's a little of the game and mastering the game, the sim.
you see, Matt came out ahead of the 23 Slim Jim Gately there.
Yes,
so
he did.
that pit entry
my
was.
dog right there.
That's why he was doing it. That's why he sent it
Wow.
on pit road. He was trying to get every inch he could on the track, knowing how hard it is to
hard
pass.
that is to, you know, I mean,
I know.
You're a champion.
And I actually
you bring that on Friday Night Lights there, buddy.
I know I make my hay on pit stops as well, so I totally understand that.
You're way better than I ever was, but there
10 car on pit road now.
He's got these two guys behind him there. That's the 3 car and the 23.
Dennis Chambers is down and away. And
they're licking
we'll
their
see
chops,
where he comes out. Dennis Chambers.
There's a
actually,
pig on the spit right now. That's a Miltism right there.
Dennis Chambers has got half a lap on these guys, if I'm reading this right. He's already into turn 3 as the second. The rest of the leaders coming out of turn 4. What happened there? Did he only take? Well, no, they had to take 2 cans of fuel. So it would have been crazy to only take 2 tires.
Yeah, it's way too far. On this track, will be toast.
So like the 10 car just had the stop of the season. If I'm reading this right. Oh no, he actually came out behind. That's how it cycled out.
Is. Yeah,
oh, that's how far he is behind, not how far he is ahead. I see it cycling now.
Well, we saw that live on TV. Matt walking sideways. But now he's got these guys that he's raced with so many times. All over his 6 right now.
Yeah, 10 of Dennis Chambers is 9 seconds back, almost 10 seconds back after staying out that much longer than everybody.
The way I see it, I think they can go full bore here, fuel-wise, but tires are... What's Matt going to do? I've seen Matt do everything. I've seen him lead to the finish. I've seen him find the right spot and lay back. And Matt's looking at what the 23 has done here already. Slim Jim gets in the lead, he's done. So as a driver, if I was Matt, I'd be saying, I'm going to defend. I'm going to get in his way. I'm going to try to save my tires, but not give him any opportunities.
I'm going to set the right side to the battle for 10th place here with Will Farmer and Dan Irvine while I step aside.
Can we see some? Oh, okay. When you get back, we'll see some in-car there, maybe.
10-4.
Roger. Dan Jones coming out, but he won't be a factor with that top lead split right there. Matt Watkins in the lead. Indy 500 winner, like 6-time Pro Cup winner. He's won everything. He has the records in this league, which has been around for a long time with a lot of great drivers. He's been there through most of it. And he's still a young man. I think he was like 16 when he started racing, And he still sounds like an old young man. I was like, got any hair on your face yet? So, like I'm in my 30s now, All over his 6 is the 23 and Mark DeCinza in the 3. Everybody else is trying to hang out. They really need a caution here with this draft of these 3 cars, with this sim and the physics. They need a caution, or they're not going to be in this factor in this. Fourth place, Dennis Chambers, way back and by himself. He's going caution, banging on his dash. Caution, caution, caution. I need a caution. Give me some. These other guys, this is typical Homestead. Still battling for 15th, 20, Rick Castle. Great battles all around the track. Track position.
All right, I'm back with a new soda. And
soda?
so you got
There's no alcohol in it, or what?
No, with this cough and taking cough meds and all that, don't need to mix that all together.
That's good. That's good adult thinking there. At
I have it sometimes.
56 years old, I wish I could think more like that, but you know.
We got Ken Hill checking in the chat there. Thanks for checking in, man. And,
Ken, what's up, bud?
Ken, our truck series sponsor, putting up the hardware for the season. We appreciate that, and hope you can get back to racing soon. We miss you out there. There's just not enough dirty jokes in the drivers' meeting without Ken Hill around.
Absolutely. Dan Jones off sequence. Don the Dog Palmer rocking it.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson still
he's got to be feeling pretty good about this. Sure, he has no delusions of grandeur, but he's looking at trying to get a nice top 10 finish in that AMC, man.
I'm looking for him right now. There he is. Yeah, this type of track is particularly challenging to dog with the brake and throttle work using those hand controls.
Absolutely.
You know, he's going to be sore when this is done.
I don't know if you guys have. He sent me a video. I'm sure it's probably on the website too. About he just put a camera up there, and I was watching him do his thing. About a 20-minute video of him using the hand controls, talking, using the brake, and all with his hands.
Meanwhile, the professor took a look underneath the goat here on the backstretch, thought better of it, but Slim's looking to do something with the 35, and here he comes. He's looking down in the front stretch, gonna take him into turn 1. Matt gives him room, but not too much room. Slim gets a little slideways going in, and looks like Matt will keep the momentum off the high side, but teammate Mark DeSenza will push the 23 car past him. Oh, not quite. Not quite. He's holding tough in the corner.
Watkins gets a little...
Wow. And DeSenza...
He's fighting back there.
DeSenza almost pushed up into him. I thought that was going to be big there. And Mark, he thought about diving under Slim, got into one, but again, thought better of it.
We're just seeing the domination of the 23 on long runs here.
We see Keith Cordier
riding
the right side of the 25 again. There's a lot of that going around tonight.
Well, these guys are trying to, and that's what happens is, like I was saying, the first, second run, feel competitive, and all of a sudden, you see the cream rise to the top here. And when these guys are got it nailed down, it's the more you realize the urgency, you have to try to make some time here, but it just puts you in the wall.
Yeah, see, 59 would be he would be 4th right now on the track, but he's stuck. Still the first car lap down, still waiting for that caution and catching that lucky dog.
Well, Matt's great pit stop and track position worked well, but tire wear didn't work well for him in the lead now, and now he's falling back, which is typical here. It's just so hard to explain, but
You can
it
see
happens.
he was sideways again going into the corner, and it could also have changed the balance of his car going from leading to trailing in this draft. And these are truck physics. They're pushing a lot of air, so the dirty and clean air has a bigger effect than you'd think.
Then it works on your tire temp. How you manage that tire temp throughout the early part of the run is the thing that always would kill me. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Once you knock the shiny off, you're not getting it back, is what I always tell
And
drivers looking for advice. And
see Slim just mastered that all night. Patience, and then once he gets out in the lead, he's got better tires and air on the nose. Watkins trying to do the same thing. He's trying what I like to do at this track, which is later in the run, stay down lower and hope the other guys will use their stuff more up in that second lane. But he's falling back. And so is DeCinza here. Slim Jim Gately is getting it. Now DeCinza makes a little run, but then he pushes a little bit up here. Slim has when he gets, he's like a Swiss watch. He just hits that time and that spot every time. You know he's going to be accurate, and when he gets in the zone like this, it's it's going to be hard for these guys. They need a mistake. Typically, Homestead at this point is spread out, is what we're seeing. So we're not seeing gaggles of lap cars. We're seeing lap cars spread out one at a time. Not going to slow them down. The leader always gets the first pick of the litter when it comes to passing lap cars.
unless you're coming up on Ryan Newman.
Yeah. So Matt Watkins has got what he had, and it's every bit of it, and it's showing, and solidly in a podium position. You know, you love talking to him. He's so humble, and but you're not on his team channel because he's a firebug. Let me tell you, he is as intense as anybody I've ever met.
I'm giving you one for Firebug, because that's not what that means.
Oh, well, you know, that's
The
why
fireball
we have you,
or
smart brother.
Fireball, Fireplug, Spark Plug.
He's intense. Let's put it that way.
Firebug is someone who likes to play with fire and
smoke
start
there,
fires. Yeah, I saw the smoke off floor, but
is out.
caution is in the air. Oh, it might have been for Steve Weber who they're catching here. Let's find out.
What do you do? What do you do?
Oh man, well with this few cars on the lead lap, I want tires. I absolutely want tires.
Have to.
Ryan Johnson has to pit anyway, so he's gonna get tires. Oh wow. Oh, this hold on to your butts,
Ooh,
folks.
I gotta get another beer. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get 3 of them. I'll be right back.
Alright, I found the source of our caution here. You see Steve Weber, as I suspected, he got into 3 and 4 and just looped it in the middle, and then had to drag race the leaders back to hold on to his lap. You'll see he just barely makes it. I guess it looked closer. Oh wow, yeah, see that's how close it was. Slim was catching him into 1 by the time they got there. And you see, as predicted, we got the leaders pitting. Had to know they were going to want 4 freshies for this. Looking to be a 5 or 6 lap sprint to the finish. I think I'm going to put camera 2 on board Dennis Chambers. There we go, we'll be on Dennis Chambers' roof. Now we'll go straight up in car. How about that? Yeah, Barrett McKay counting the yellows for us, says that's the 3rd one, and yeah, this track doesn't usually produce a ton of yellows because of how spread out the field gets. So, it's like
they
Webb
usually don't happen like now. You know, I mean, towards the end of the race. You know?
Yeah, Webb just lost it in the middle of the corner. It almost looked like he was shifting, and when he, you know what, he's been having problems with his shifter too. When he dropped down gear, he looped. Milt, your mic's muted. I don't know if that's on purpose.
Yeah, I keep stepping on our mic there. So.
Yeah, they're not rated as footwear.
Well, yeah, big guy and not much room here in the racing den here.
Yeah, I have to step out sideways too to get around the green screen. I should do an updated pic of the setup here, as I've changed things around since last time I did that. I'm on the exact other side of the room as I was before.
Well. That brings Dennis Chambers back into the play here.
That puts Dennis Chambers back in play. It puts Rick Johnson back in play. Steve Weber was the source of the caution, but stayed on the lead lap, so he'll benefit. And Ryan Johnson gets your lucky dog. The thing is, he's got to start end of longest line, which is actually going to be the lapped cars.
Well, we've seen the 23, manage and pounce and persevere. Now he's in the lead. Not too much time to go here. It's going to be a few laps. Now he's got to get some, and let's see how the 23 is on cold tires and on a short run here. That guy behind him, Mark DeSinza, that's the short run king right there. When you look at this group right here, I mean, that like Bear Bryant would say, that's a stud right there. Yeah,
well, Matt Watkins was good on short runs before too, so the lights are out on the FSB pace car.
Well, he's going to be good or he's going to be sideways.
He could be both. He's one of those guys that can Kyle Busch it and just hang it all out there and still bring it back.
Yeah, except he's a lot more.
He's a lot nicer than Kyle Busch for sure.
Well, no, man, perception is not necessarily reality, so. But, I mean, this is what these guys live for. That's why they show up on Friday night instead of going out and partying or something.
Pace car's off. Slim Jim Gately leading him back to green. We got the battle for the lead on the left. We got the onboard camera on Dennis Chambers on the right. Let's see how this one's going to finish, folks. And the no passing to the backstretch rule is waived this season, and 52 looks like he's trying to send it into one. Has to back out. Dennis Chambers holds the spot. Matt Watkins looking for a way around the 3 car. Can't get the run. Meanwhile, Dennis Chambers is right on his bumper, looking low into turn 3. Dennis Chambers to the bottom. Oh, he loses it mid-corner. Can he surge again off? No, he is. Oh, he is driving the heck out of that car. He's holding on to it. Matt Watkins slideways off 4.
Matt Watkins fierce there.
Meanwhile, the teammates of Slim Jim Gately and Mark DeSenza are just pulling away. This is what they want. We've still got 5 to go.
They're not going to mess with each other here. There's no team orders, it's team respect.
Next flag will end this, so...
Then I'll try to do something here.
And next flag will end this at this point, so the time is now to get to the lead.
Just that little battle with the 10 there, held back off a little. He's going to drive it in hard.
Oh, he's got a big run coming off turn 2. Looks like he has to back out of it. I'm going to switch over to Matt Watkins on board.
Car, you got 2 strategies here. You got inner high, exit low, or inner low. At this point, with the fresh tires for all these cars, they're using the high-low.
I don't think I'm going to change my position. I think they really are shifting.
They are. They definitely are. At least, you know.
Especially after I saw that spin by Webb, is Matt Watkins' teammate.
With the setups we had in the past, that's what we would do. But
I was starting to say before, I don't like shifting any place that's not Pocono as far as ovals go. But if you got to do what you got to do.
Coming on 106. 3 laps to go. That tries an outside in. Try to get a run. Coming on the 3 here. 3 has lost about a car length on.
Ooh, I thought he was going to get the wall there.
Easy there. That's going to readjust and try the low line. Let off a little bit early. These guys are studs, man. They're not missing a beat. Slim Jim Gately out in front with the air on the nose. Experience. There's no way here.
So the other thing about shifting I don't like at ovals, Matt Watkins just showed it right there. He went in there, got it to the center. Just as the car was landing, he downshifted and it upset the car, and you saw him kind of wobble in there.
Slim Jim Gately, 1 corner to go.
If you're too aggressive with that downshift, you can get the back end wobbling.
The teammates coming down. It's Slim Jim Gately. Step yourself into a Slim Jim. You're the winner, buddy.
And there you have it. Your top 3. Slim Jim Gately in the 23. Mark DeSenza in the 3 car.
You beat these guys. You beat this field. Wow. Slim Jim Gately, a couple weeks ago, I saw something on Facebook. He was out on a lake going, sorry for you guys that have to work. I'm out here fishing. And he was out fishing, and now he just fished himself a win right now. Slim Jim Gately, your winner. What a great run. What a great professional run. Sorry, folks, for last week with the technical difficulties. Did I say that right?
Yeah, that's close enough.
We're probably going to have them again, but...
Well, last week the technical difficulties were with the game. This week they were with YouTube. and then my laptop and capture card, but...
Well, this is great stuff, and we got, I mean, check this stuff out. I got
Slim Jim just takes it
coworkers.
to the pits and parks it. He's not gonna burn out or anything.
Yeah, that's how he rolls. He's gonna go fishing tomorrow, probably. No big deal. Very, I mean, what a great driver. First of all, still, wow. I mean, you just can't say it any way than that. He was the best car all night and was patient, got in the lead every time he needed to, and then at the end, he wasn't tripping. I'm going to get the lead and I'm going to win this race, and managed it. He probably could have pulled out a little bit more. Looking at from what we saw all night, that was the dominant car on the late run, and there was enough of a run there to show it. Man, I got to get down and buy me a Slim Jim now.
Meanwhile, your finishing order there: Slim Jim Gately, your winner. Mark Descends a second. Matt Watkins third. Dennis Chambers rallies to hold on to fourth place. Rick Johnson fifth. Ryan Johnson, talk about your rallies, comes home sixth place after being trapped a lap down most of the night.
Dennis has shown me nothing but this guy's the real deal.
He good. Steve Weber holds on for seventh place. Then Rick Piscano, your first car lap down, in eighth. Dan Irvine had some problems with damage all night, ends up ninth. And your top 10 is rounded up by John the Dog Palmer there. Look at that.
That's exactly what he was looking for. He has no delusions of grandeur, but he puts a lot of work in and studies and runs a team, and that's a great result for the 108 team.
All right, well, I'm going to have Milty go round up your podium finishers there.
I'll be back.
And we'll bring up the post-race show screen here. And again, your standings... Wait, they still have Isaac John. The standings didn't update last week. Haha. There it is. We'll turn that off since it's not relevant anymore. That's because this is the first week, effectively, after the technical difficulties last week at Michigan. It was disappointing to lose the 98 mod after all the work we put into getting it going, but we want to have the race go off on a Friday night. Yeah. So that's what we got, and we got what we were looking for tonight with a great battle there all night. Even though it was a flat track, a driver track, these guys couldn't get away from each other, and we're battling all night long. So great racing at a big flat track. Slim Jim Gately, he's just fast everywhere, but particularly good at these tire management, long run, time off throttle tracks, and he showed why he's the professor tonight, holding on for the win. A little surprised that some of the strategy calls by the 10 car, I thought he was going to be... Well, he was strong all night. He just got himself in a bad spot. So, not the night he was looking for, but still a strong showing. Surprised Rick Johnson wasn't a factor. I know he knocked the right side off his car, ended up fourth or fifth, but expect to see more of him at these tracks. I'm sure he'll come back strong next week. I'm not sure where we are exactly. I'll pull up the schedule here. As Milty is gathering up our podium finishers, still looking for Slim, it looks like. But meanwhile, we've got our third place finisher, Matt Watkins. Kind coming back this season. First of all, how many races you planning to make again? To make a run at a like a 20th championship here, or what, or just a limited schedule? And tell us about your run tonight, man.
Yeah, it's hopefully, I just kind of winging it, but it'd be kind of cool to run them all. We'll see. But yeah, I had a ton of fun tonight, man. Those guys are Slim, Mark, and Dennis. They were really fast, and had a couple good stops. That's literally the only way I got the lead. Is had some stops, and I knew I was really
good stop. Are you
Good
kidding me?
stop. We were falling over in the booth here at that Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift entry there.
Spitting beer all over the place.
I was like, let's see if I can, let's see how far I can push this. Maybe if I could get the lead, it might hold on for a little bit, and then.
Yeah, Mark and Slim, you got to go back and watch that either on the broadcast or on the replay. On one of those stops there, Matt came in dead sideways.
I did some stuff.
Yeah, he put on a show. It's good to see you back. Definitely great to see someone giving some competition to these top two here. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That was a ton of fun, and congrats to Slim, Mark. Those guys were much better than me tonight, and I was just glad I could hold them off for at least 10 laps.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, next week is Texas, by the way. I was looking for the schedule before everybody got up.
Well, Mark, you were back a little bit there once I got in, but then you got hooked back up with Slim there, and both you guys were real patient, but you guys really were so good on the long run. It was interesting to see what was going to happen when we had this late caution, but you guys didn't disappoint. I mean, you got in front, and there was no way. I mean, Rick Johnson, Matt Watkins, they had nothing for you tonight.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say welcome back there, Matt. Nice to see you. I finally beat Matt Watkins. You know, I feel really good about that.
Me
Yeah,
too.
no
Me
kidding.
too.
I think I talked about that a few times.
Oh yeah, I know how it feels. My first
Like
Pro
the
Cup
one
win
time,
was
yeah.
right ahead of him, but I'm still bitter about that teaspoon of gas he beat me by at Indy in the 500.
But no, glad to have
Never
him
get
back,
over
man.
that.
Matt's always fast. I know that. And short run, long run, to me, Slim had the best car. There was nothing I had for him on a long run. I could stay with him, but I couldn't do nothing with him. Same thing on the last restart there. I tried everything I had to get by him, and I couldn't. So best car won. Slim, awesome job, man. It was fun racing you, Matt, and everybody else, man. But
Thank
awesome,
you.
man.
Now, Mark,
Well-
one thing we were
well-
wondering, because it's not always reliable watching on replays, were you guys shifting out there tonight or not?
I was not.
Nope.
Yes.
I know some people were.
Matt
Okay.
was. Matt was.
I have all
I
I
could
can
tell.
do to
I wasn't sure about it all
drive
night
it.
until that last run, and I saw Matt. As soon as it seemed like he was shifting, he would get sideways in the middle of the corner. I'm like, that's the other reason I don't like shifting at ovals.
That's how he rolls. Sideways is a natural state for Matt Watkins.
One little
That's
mistake,
fun.
though, Matt would have been right by me. So, he was just sitting right there waiting for a mistake, I'd imagine. So,
Well,
had to
great
be
run,
on my
Mark.
toes to stay in front of him.
Well, Slim, I've been trained by you, especially on tracks like this. You always talk about tire temperature and long run. Just showed it tonight. It was like it was like going to school for the rest of these guys, watching you and just had it dialed in, and they had no. I mean, you were like fourth place, and then you went from fourth to first, and then pulled away like 10 car lengths before the car was just like on rails, man. There you go.
All right, less than 20 seconds so I don't get copyright flagged. You've been waiting to do that for a while, Slim.
Yeah. Well, we've, of course, you've been busy. You've been fishing, a lot, having a good time. I see you on Facebook there, just chilling, laughing at the people that have to work, but
You saw that, huh?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I let Slim win because of his mother. His mother doesn't like me because
She
I
wasn't
beat her.
watching tonight, so you would have been
Yeah,
all right.
but
Yeah,
if you
for
told
what?
her, there would have been an
She
issue.
couldn't watch the replay though. I'm sure. But
I
tonight,
don't
I
know.
mean, you were dominant, man. You were against these great drivers. I mean, these guys, they suit up and show up, and they had nothing for you, man.
I think
Wow.
the real reason you won is because I didn't get a chance to pick you.
Well,
I had
I
the technical
appreciate
difficulties getting the
that.
broadcast
I appreciate
going.
that. I'm not sure about Matt. I don't know, Matt. Have you been running somewhere else, or is this the first time you raced in a while?
Yeah, I've been running a little bit this year.
All right. Well, for me, I haven't been on the track other than making setups for the last 2 months, and it's been a while. I don't even think I made it to victory lane last season. I don't think I did. So
No.
that was pretty cool for me to win
that
tonight,
was
and then to win against the caliber of drivers that I won against.
Absolutely.
And Matt, also owe you an apology. I threw it up there. I almost put us both in the wall there at one point.
I almost
think you know
passed
what
you
I'm talking
both.
about. But I thought I had room there, and it looked like you were leaving me the room. And then as I started moving over, I'm like, nope, he didn't. My bad. My apologies, dude.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I thought all three of you were going to end up in a wad, and the 10 was going to end up stealing this deal at that point.
My daddy used to tell me, he said, son, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So I'm pushing 60, and I'm just not as sharp at this game as I used to be. So for me to get a win, I'm feeling pretty good tonight.
Well, tonight,
Oh, boy.
you were
Yeah.
tonight you were
He runs
the
good every
Slim
night.
Jim that I remember. It was just wire to wire perfection. The professor was in the house. And,
God, my head's going to explode. Man.
well,
I thought he did already.
You won't be
that's
able
my
to fit in the
job,
car
man.
next
I'm
week.
supposed to do that,
Matt, you hear all this?
Well,
I do.
I'll pose the same
You
question
kicked
to you,
some
Slim,
serious butt.
as I did to Matt. And you tended to run the full calendar this season. I know you missed Michigan last week, but that ended up being an aborted race anyway.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because next weekend is my birthday, and the wife and I are headed back up to the river, so I will not be here.
Oh,
You know, it ain't about that though. It's about tonight, man.
Yeah.
And
Well, I was
tonight
hoping.
that was an ass whooping.
Yeah, it sure was.
Sure was.
Definitely.
I don't know
That was
about all
an
that,
ass
but
whooping against the best NASCAR 2003 sim racers. I'll put you guys against anybody that's out there in the NASCAR 2003 world, and I'll put money on it. And
I drove the best I could to pass him, and I couldn't do it. There's nothing more I had. I tried everything I had.
no,
I did
that
everything
was
I did good to stay in
that
front
was
of
a
you.
serious badass run right there.
Thank
And
you.
shout out there to my teammate Ryan. He, I think, finished sixth after being a lap down.
Yeah,
And
he battled all
also,
night
the 10
after
was
getting
running.
trapped.
Dennis
Absolutely.
Chambers there was running good too.
Yeah, absolutely. Des Chambers is a real deal. Everybody out there, that was a pro race. Can't have any better race than that.
It's getting tired.
FSB
Kind of wanted to get it over with. I was getting tired.
Points are
I was too.
updated. Slim Jim has the lead for now until missing next week in the
I'll
chase
take
for
a shot of that.
the Winston Cup. I got one sitting right here next to me. Take a look at the trophy we're all going for this year, and was hoping maybe we'd get to see a full Slim Jim battle, but missing 1 week isn't the end of the world in this current point system. So I'd say still can't count you out for that one.
I think I'm gonna have a better shot when the winter season rolls around.
Well,
This is the winter season.
Slim
No,
Jim
I'm
is
talking about
always
next year. Winter. This is fall.
Okay.
Slim's always been
That's
about
true.
Well,
family
it's
and
supposed to be
life.
fall.
So.
Yeah,
What's that,
Sam went
Milt?
to numbering them instead of calling them by the seasons of the calendar. Well, we'll wrap this up here. Again, great race, everybody. Thank you, Slim, Matt, and Mark for joining us here in the booth for the post race here. Thanks as always, Milty, coming in the helicopter last minute there to join us.
Yeah, it's
Didn't
a
crash,
family
did it?
show up.
Big milk.
It crashed, but he jumped out of it, walked away from the explosion, didn't look back, like a boss.
Like
Cool.
that, baby.
Yeah, cool guys don't look at the explosions. Thanks everybody for joining us out there on YouTube. Despite my my rocky start there, I'll figure out what the heck YouTube changed that caused that problem next week. Thanks as always, series sponsor Farmer Brothers Contracting. We didn't get to mention them all night. Bill Farmer actually wasn't even out there. I guess maybe he's down at Richmond. I think maybe. But again, thanks for putting up the hardware. Again, this is what we're racing for here.
Absolutely.
And
thanks for the
Jeez.
broadcast,
Yeah.
guys. You
Thanks
guys do a
for
solid
the
job,
Yeah,
man.
thanks, guys.
Definitely.
thanks as always, Ryan Johnson, series admin, Sam Young, league owner and promoter. And again, thank you all for joining. Thanks for coming out for racing. Thanks for coming out on YouTube to watch. And let's hope next week goes off without a hitch, and we'll see you at Texas. Good night, everybody.